a learning experience that help individual and organization develop professionally while focusing on human-centered growth and well-being. With along the strong passion and the education leadership development and the transformational learning, Komal has successfully brought together the experts from the diverse fields to create a meaningful conversation to impress the positive change. Please join me to welcoming our moderator, Ms. Komal Jaju. Over to you, Komal ma'am.
Thank you for kind introduction, Apeksha, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. So, on behalf of Hayford Integrated Training Institute, so today I would like to thank each one of you for joining today's this session. It's a very important topic, and at Hayford we believe that learning should not only help individuals build professionals but also support personal well-being and sustainable performance. And in today's fast paced world, and that we are very busy in our lifestyles, we are very busy in our work, everything, so their conversation around mental wellness, stress management and human performance have become more important than ever. So that's why today we kept this webinar, and we are hosting this webinar to help people understand that burnout is not simply a mental or emotional experience. It is something that can profoundly affect the body through the nervous system. So I'm delighted to bring this important topics to you through an expert who has dedicated her career to understanding the connection between the nervous system, physical and then overall well-being. Yeah. So today we have with us Dr. Shubhangi Gaikawar, and she is a very highly respected specialist physiotherapist and nervous system wellness expert with extensive experience in helping individuals understand the overcome the physical impact of stress and nervous system dysregulation. And she holds a master degree in neurophysiotherapy along with an MBA in healthcare, bringing together deep clinical expertise and a holistic understanding of healthcare and human well-being. Throughout her professional journey, she has worked extensively in the areas of neurological, nervous system regulation, stress related physical symptoms, and performance optimization. And her work focuses on helping people recognize how chronic stress, burnout manifest within the body, and how nervous system health influence physical, emotional, and cognitive performance. So, in today's session, Dr. Shubhangi will help us explore that why burnout lives in the body and the role of nervous system in stress and recovery. And third is the connection between stress performance, practical insights and physical symptoms for building resilience and improving well-being. So I am pretty much confident that today discussion will leave us with valuable knowledge and actionable takeaways. So without further delay, please join me in welcoming Dr. Shubhangi. Dr. Shubhangi, now the stage is yours, and we look forward to
Thank you,
learning.
Ms. Komal, for a wonderful introduction. And welcome everyone for this insightful webinar, which we are trying to bring and help you understand your body and your nervous system more and more. So let's begin. So, see, when we think about burnout, we always think that it is only related to exhaustion, sometimes emotionally and sometimes physically. But what we don't understand that burnout start very like way before when we start understanding that yes, we are into the burnout state. So it is very important for each one and every individual to understand what is happening in the body and to focus on understanding the symptoms which your body start giving at very early stage rather than waiting for going into a burnout state. So that's what we're gonna learn about our nervous system, our body, some symptoms where you can find out where your body, where and when your body is trying to tell you that something is going wrong, something is missing in the wholesome well-being of your life. So let's start. Before we start the session, I want all of you to just go through these terms and let me know if any one of you have been feeling any kind of symptoms, or does this terms resonate with you in any sense, anywhere in your body. So you can type in the chat box, or you can just show some thumbs ups. So we will understand what is happening in our audience today. Anything you relate to?
So guys, make this session interactive.
Yeah, let's
So
make it more interactive so we will understand what is happening. So I can also divert the conversation, what is really happening within us, within this community where we have joined in.
yeah, in chat we can see.
Firstly,
Apeksha, can you please read the chat all?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
firstly, anxiety. Yes, it's very
Poor
common
sleep,
these days.
anxiety,
Anxiety
anxiety
again,
again,
neck
neck
pain,
pain, shoulder tightness,
maybe.
again,
Yes,
neck and shoulder tightness, anxiety, headache.
like
So these all are common actually
these are
symptoms.
the
Yeah.
common symptom your body is telling you, right? And pretty much most of us go through all of some of these at least, especially neck pain, pain has become very, very common. And we need to understand that this pain is not only physical, that also comes when you have too much of stress going on in your life, when you have emotional exhaustion. So all this emotional pattern in your life, in your personal life or in your professional life, it also get stored in your body. Okay, because your muscles has the memory that's called muscle memory, and that's what we're gonna learn more about it. So I'm glad. Let's keep it more interactive. So, see, the burnout, it is not just the mental exhaustion. It is also affecting the physiologically into your body, how your all the organs, your system is working. So when you have a burnout, it's not just mental, it's also affect your physiology, your neurological processes, like how your brain is functioning, how your cognitive abilities are functioning at that point of time, how your nerves are actually responding to the commands which are coming to your body. Burnout is also changes your body physiologically, neurologically, and definitely emotionally. How much emotional burden you are carrying in your mind and body. And lastly, it does affect your physical well-being. Like we have seen lot many symptoms like neck pain, back pain, and most of the time when the physical pain which is coming in your body has no, like when you go to a doctor and everything is absolutely normal, all your scans, your blood reports coming out to be normal, and you still have this persistent pain, even you are doing exercises, even if you are taking some therapies, but the pain doesn't go away. It's because this pain is not just the physical ailment, it's because of a lot of exhaustion, a lot of emotional traumas into your body and to your nervous system. So what is happening in our nervous system, and what is the missing link? The missing link here is your nervous system, because nervous system is like a scanner of your body. It just scan whether you are in a safe zone or you are in a threatened position. So whenever your nervous system, your brain find out that you are not in a safe zone, it start a sympathetic nervous system response. And that's why you feel like I have to be in alert mode all the time. Okay, so this is how your body scan or understand that whether you are in a safe zone or you are in a stressful zone. And once it scan that no, you are in a stress, so no matter what stress you are going through, whether it is big or small, the alert system keep you in that restlessness, that fight and flight mode. So it's very important to understand how your body is functioning, because your brain and your nervous system is the operating system of your whole human body. Okay. So understanding your nervous system. So basically there are two states. One is sympathetic and another is parasympathetic. So let's understand parasympathetic first. Parasympathetic is a state where you are more relaxed when your body is feeling so safe. You are in your Zen space, you know. So in that situation, in that state, you are more relaxed. You will have a better sleep. You will have better digestion. You will recover in a good way, in a proper proper recovery will take place when you are in that zone. But as soon as your body start finding out that something is wrong or something is not safe for you to be there, that time your nervous system start this sympathetic response, which led you to act as fight and flight mode. So what is fight and flight mode? Fight and flight mode let you be in that survival mode where you have to keep yourself, active to be ready to take action. Either you fight it out or you just move out. So in that zone, you are constantly in that survival mode, that either I have to fight it out or I have to just go away from it. So it's not a resting state. But here we need to understand one more thing, that sympathetic nervous system is not a bad thing. We do need it. But how much how long we should be there, that is more important. Okay. So what is survival mode? Survival mode is your body's automatic stress response. It is designed to protect you from danger by keeping you alert, prepared, and ready to react. So, in that situation, your body will always be scanning the danger, and it will keep you in that alert zone, that preparedness, and ready to act and react. And when this stress become a constant thing in your life, you can imagine your nervous system is always in that alert mode. And that's why you start living in the survival mode for longer and longer period of time. And it doesn't allow you to go into that resting zone, that parasympathetic zone, so that your body can recover, rest, and rejuvenate. So, survival mode priorities. When the nervous system perceives that there is a threat, so what happens? The body shifts its resources toward immediate safety. Your body will push you to look for the safety rather than using that energy to function, to rejuvenate, to maintain your healthy well-being. Okay, so when there is a survival mode, first of all, the most important thing becomes is your protection. So the body start focusing on detecting and responding to danger rather than repairing your tissues, supporting immunity, and restoring balance. And that's why when you are in survival mode, your immunity also reduces. Secondly, because of constant alertness, there's a stress hormone which keep producing in your body, and you will be in a heightened vigilance mode. So you will be always looking and scanning for any kind of danger, and in that process you lose into your deep sleep, your digestion, your restorative process. And because the energy is going always into the scanning and vigilance, you become less efficient. And then there is a action oriented mode of your survival mode, where you are constantly in that active mode, where you just want to guard yourself and to protect yourself, that your muscle also stayed in that active mode, in a contracted mode, so rather than relaxing, your muscles are always tight, and that's why you feel that tension around your neck, your shoulder, sometimes your back muscles, because constantly you are keeping yourself ready to act. And when you are acting, your muscle has to be in a contracted state, and that's why in this type of individual, the muscle doesn't relax and it's constantly in that spasm mode, and you feel that tightness and that pain and spasm most of the time. And your energy get directed toward getting through the immediate challenge, sometimes at the expenses of your sleep, recovery, resilience, and sustainable performances. Okay, so what happened in modern day performance? We all are performing most of the time in the survival mode because we have to be productive. We have to be available to everyone who are there in our life, and whether it is personal or professional. We in the office also we need to be available to our bosses, to our work, the projects, what we are doing, and we are also very much taking care of so many of responsibility, and we have to be very responsive of like the notification, the emails, all of these is what it is creating is the alertness in our system most of the time, and that's why we just stayed in that survival mode. And once this survival mode is on in your system all the time, the stress and fatigue response keep looping into one another. So stress is a stress to your body, whether it is a whether it is a notification message, whether it is an email you have to send, whether it is a deadline or a tiger in front of you. Your body just sense that there is a danger. So everything from a deadline to relationship conflicts, so unresolved issues, constant notifications, financial issues and stresses, all of this your body just tag it as a stress, and once there is a stress, your nervous system start responding to in that way only, that you need to be alert, you need to solve the issues, you need to be responsible for that, you have to find out ways to navigate it, to solve it, and in all these things are creating a state of alertness, a state of to protect yourself, to safeguard yourself, so that you can rest. But what is happening? We are never reaching to that state where we can rest. We are always in that survival mode. So how this stress loop works? Let's understand that. So that will be more easier for you to recognize your symptoms and the signs what your body is giving. So whenever you have a stress, okay, any kind of a stress, whether it is emotional, mental, whether it's a pressure from your workplace or your personal life, your body understand that something is bothering, something is not safe for me, and what it do is it let your muscle go into that guarding mode, contracted mode, so that you can prepare yourself, keep yourself ready. And in that process, the muscles become tighter and tighter. Even though when you are doing your exercises, you're going for a massage, you feel little bit of relax, but as soon as any kind of a stressor comes in your life, again the same cycle started, and then again you will feel that stress, that tightness in your muscles. And because the muscles get tightened through the response of the nerves, that means the nerves were also were in the state of that response. So it makes your nervous system overload, because your nerves are constantly sending that response to your muscles and to your different part of your body. So the nervous system is in the overload zone. Once all these things are happening, your muscles are in tense mode, your nervous system is overloaded. So you can imagine the amount of energy you are spending on all these things, making you feel exhausted. And when you are in that exhausted mode for a very long time, your body start feeling fatigue. You will have this brain fogging. You will have poor sleep, because even when you are trying to sleep, that stress or trigger is bothering you, and you go into that loop of overthinking. And that's why all these symptoms, these physical symptoms, the neurological symptoms, leads to more stress, and then this loop, this cycle keeps going on. So stress, fatigue, stress, this is called the stress fatigue loop and stress fatigue cycle. And it is very, very important to bring ourselves out of it. Otherwise, if you are just looping in this, and you're not recognizing the symptom and the sign of your body, then it become very easy for any individual to go into exhaustion or to a burnout zone very, very fast. So what we actually miss, a lot of us do go for therapies, wellness retreats, and all of that. And what has been taught there is mostly how you have to manage your time, how you have to do your mindset so that you can, compartmentalize your work life, you can have a better work life balance, how you can become productive. But what actually we miss is the nervous system, because nervous system is the operating house of your body. If you understand, in the whole day, for example, let's take one day example, okay? In the whole day, how long you're staying in that sympathetic zone, that is fight and flight zone, which is also the survival mode, and how long you are staying in the parasympathetic mode. That differentiation and the understanding of how long you're spending your day, whether in parasympathetic or sympathetic, that actually is the key game changer. Once you understand that you are staying in parasympathetic zone more, you are able to bring yourself out from that alertness, that readiness all the time, then it is good. But if you evaluate yourself, just evaluate a day in your life and see if you're spending a lot of time in that survival zone, then it's a red flag. Then you have to understand how to bring yourself in a calmer state more often. And to be very frank, it's not so difficult. Once you have the tools and once you know how to navigate it, it becomes easier for every individual to come to parasympathetic more than the survival mode.
So, Dr. Shubhani, I have one question. Like,
Yeah,
most of us, we experience, exhaustion from time to time. But
yeah.
how, how someone can recognize that difference between, simply needing rest or they are really experiencing true burnout. So, what are the warning signs that our body is giving to us or
So
gives? Yeah.
see, when you talk about resting, and so when you are resting and you're feeling fresh next day,
Yeah.
when you are going, if you're going for a holiday and you come fresh and you have a lot of energy and all of that, then it's fine. You are in a good zone. You are in a perfect way. But whether you are taking holidays, whether you are taking massages, whether you are doing meditation, or you're sleeping 8 hours, 10 hours, but you still wake up with that stressful mind, that heaviness in your head, that tension in your neck, and you feel like your mind is never shutting off, then it's an indication that you are heading towards the exhaustion.
So, what are the
Um,
treatments for that?
what are the?
Treatments, like what we should do. Obviously, consult a doctor. This would be the first step.
Yeah, so when you understand that you are always in that alert mode, then you should know that it's time for take help. And there are so many therapies where you can where which can help you out, like going for deep meditation, sound healing, and also somatic healing. Somatic healing is something where we work on your mind, your body, and your subconscious mind. So, how a person is dealing with certain kind of stress is also being learned during his whole lifetime. We have seen a lot of examples, like in the same office, two individual um, react and handle the same boss in a different way. One person can be exhausted very sooner, Another person can be like just chilled out, he or she might not be getting too agitated, but other person is getting agitated even if he sees a boss or if he see a colleague, right? So it is also your subconscious belief system, how you have been brought up and what all things you have learned. So when we do somatic healing therapy, we actually work on all these three levels: your mind, your body, and your subconscious pattern. So that's one of the very good therapy, I would say. And certain people feel much better when they go for talk therapy, where they can express what they are feeling, because a lot of people cannot express themselves completely to their friends or family. So sometimes just expressing yourself helps a lot. I hope I have given the
Yes,
answer to your question.
definitely. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
answer.
So,
So, ma'am, we have one more question
sure.
from Mohammed Razwan Khan. I have one more question, that is, how we should reduce the stress? Should we use some medicines? Because sometimes it's difficult to come out from the stress cycle.
See, I won't recommend directly going for medicine again, but it's a call of your doctor. When you go to a psychologist and a psychiatrist, they will understand what is the actual problem you are facing. I won't say just go directly to, medicine. It's always good to start with conservative treatments rather than jumping into antidepressant and all this type of medicine. And at the same time, I would say it depends how deep the problem you're facing. So stress seems to be a very small word, but stress is very subjective. It's very, very subjective. Like for me, it certain stress can be just a daily routine thing, and I can I can solve it and I can go back to my parasympathetic nervous system state, like in my resting state. But for someone, the same thing can be overwhelming because they don't know how to navigate it, how to process it and manage it. So getting yourself assessed properly and taking conservative treatment initially, that's the best way I would say, rather than just going. If you feel stressful, just go and take pills and sleep. That will not help because it is adding up to your body, your muscles, your fascia. Even if the thing has been gone from your mind, but somewhere down the line, your muscle memory will keep it as a trauma. So it's better to get it out from your system as soon as possible. All right. Any more questions? All right.
Oh, no.
Let's.
Yeah, we can
Sorry.
go. Yeah, we can move forward. Yeah.
So, how to understand the symptoms that your body is operating in a survival mode? So, I have categorized three different pillars: mental, physical, and emotional. Because a person is called healthy when the well-being is met at all the levels: mental, physical, emotional, and also spiritual. But we are keeping the spiritual side away for now. Let's focus on mental, physical, and emotional because all these pillars make a human being more healthier. And when all of these things together, then a human being can call as well, like in a sound health. So mentally, if you are overthinking, you are going into that loop of overthinking again and again. Again, it's a sign that it is taking you toward the survival mode. Brain fogging, anxiousness, difficulty in focusing or concentrating on your work. These are some of the symptoms mentally which you can face when you're going toward exhaustion or burnout as well. Physically, when you feel your shoulders tighten up all the time, headaches, fatigue, poor sleep, digestive issue, and also breathing pattern. I think it's missing here. And also you see the changes in your breath. Because the vagus nerve is a nerve which is responsible for your calmness and how quickly you're going into the parasympathetic zone, and it runs down from here till your gut. So once you are stressed, that's why you most of the people feel tightness around the shoulder, around the neck. They feel shallow breathing when they are stressed, and also their digestive system get upset because of the stress. Because one nerve is controlling all these three system of your body. Okay, so here are the physical symptoms which you can note down if you are getting it often, and even after therapy or doing something about it, it's not recovering, then it's an indication that you're moving towards exhaustion. Then emotional symptoms like irritability, emotional exhaustion, you feel exhausted most of the time, feeling disconnected, withdrawing from your social circle, from your family circle. You want to keep your energy to yourself, meaning you want to spend more time yourself so that nobody's interrupting you. So these are some of the symptoms which you can look for or check on yourself, and to understand how your body is operating at this point of time. So, why does burnout or exhaustion show up in your body physically? Because, as I told you, one nerve is governing your muscles, your breath, and your gut, right? So, when you are stressed, your breath, your breathing pattern changes. Some of some of the individual, when they are stressed, they do a lot of shallow breathing, like the oxygen is not going all the way to the lungs. Sometimes you feel like tightness in your chest and you can't breathe. That's when there's extreme stress. And next is your muscle tension increases. When you're stressed, because of the stress response, your muscle guard up. Guard up means they go into a contracted state. Your posture changes. You bring your shoulder forward. You shrug your shoulders. So all these things causes tension in your muscles. And when you're stressed and you are in alert mode, all the extensor, the backside of your body, all that muscle become more hyperactive, so that you stay in that readiness to tackle anything. So that's how your muscle tension also increases during the stress. Because your muscle tension is high, your nerves are constantly working on it, constantly bringing you that stimulation, that message from the brain that causes sensitivity in your whole nervous system, and that's why you become more sensitive to pain sensation, discomfort, aches, headache, back pain. And that's why the pain comes back very frequently in your body. And because of all these issues, the quality of your sleep also reduces. Either you are not falling asleep very fast, or you have a very the sleep is very fragile, means you wake up with a small noise also, or you just wake up suddenly feeling some unsafe, or with the insecurities. It happens with a lot of client I'm dealing with. So they just wake up in the middle of the night feeling very scared or fearful. So all of these is causing and taking a lot of energy from your system and letting you feel exhausted. And that's why these are more physical symptoms which you can actually look in your body. You can feel in your body, rather than waiting for exhaustion to come and strike you in all the corners of your, like, emotionally, physically and mentally. So when you start understanding the physical symptoms, some signs in your body, it becomes easier for us to tackle it in a very superficial level, rather than going into exhaustion completely. So, as we discussed, the physical symptom linked to the burnout is the pain, breathing issue, fatigue, headache, and gut issues. Talking about physical symptoms, let's spend some time focusing on which areas basically you feel more tension. As we have seen in our chat, also, a lot of people are going through neck pain, shoulder pain. So these are some of the primary area where, because when you are stressed, the brain start contracting. All these muscles start contracting, and that's why you feel this neck pain very, very often. And nowadays, neck pain is more prevailing than the back pain. The reason for that is also a lot of usage of mobile. We're spending a lot of time in scrolling, checking the emails, responding on WhatsApp, Instagramming, and so many things, right? Then headaches. These headaches are not migraine. These are most of the time cervicogenic headache, which is again related to your neck muscles. If your neck muscles are tight, it contracts the arteries so the blood supply to the brain get restricted, and that's why you will have pain in certain part of the brain or the head. So many time it get misdiagnosed from migraine. So I would advise get the checkup of your headache. If you are getting frequent checkup, get it checked, get it assessed. What is happening? Is it a migraine? Because not all headaches are migraine. Most of the headaches are because of cervical muscles, the neck muscles, jaw clenching. So when you are stressed, even when you are sleeping, subconsciously you clench your jaws and you feel that tightness, that stiffness in your jaws more often than ever before. Okay, so we need to check all these things. So, coming back to the physical symptom, if you are having constant neck pain, headaches, and jaw clenching or jaw tightness, this is an absolute sign that your body is going through a lot of stress, and it's better to recover it in a very initial state. Mhm. So, what are the steps in burnout? So it's not like, you are going through certain stress and after 3 week or 3 months, your body go into exhaustion. It's not like that. It happens over a period of time. And your body and your brain always give you signals, but we actually miss it up. We do not focus initially when your body starts signaling you. So firstly, what happened if you're going through stress? As a human, we try to adapt ourselves to the surrounding and to the environment. We do not try to find out some solution and the ways and the tools to navigate that situation so that we can bring back our calmness back to us when we finish the work or when we have resolved any kind of stress or issues. We should go back to the calm state, but it doesn't happen. What we do is we take over all this all these things in our brain, and we keep evaluating, and we adapt a belief system. And because of that, and carrying over all this baggage all the way, all the time, your body start compensating. So you will compensate and you will start saying, like, probably I'm not getting proper sleep because I'm working too long. I have this stress or that stress, or maybe I'm not taking my medicines on time, or my magnesium is low. It can be because of vitamin D. So we come out with a lot of excuses, and in that process, your body start compensating. And once you stay in this adapted and compensated mode for a very long time, the time comes where you feel completely exhausted after like few months or few years. You don't know because now your body doesn't know how to go back to the resting state. You are constantly in that survival mode. Your nervous system becomes so sensitive and overstimulated and hyper vigilant that everything which is coming in your life feels like a threat. So as we started in the initial slides, what your body needs, what your nervous system look for is the safety. And now when you are in exhausted state, everything which comes to you, every email or every conversation, every person you are meeting, whether it is in professional or personal front, you start hyper vigilating, hyper scanning that it can have a some kind of threat to me, and that's why your body stay in that fight and flight mode all the time. It doesn't go back to that zen space where you should be for longer hours in your day. So again, the signs you may be stuck in survival mode is like you feel wired but tired, difficulty relaxing, whether you're going for vacation or you're just resting out, sleeping it out, but you don't feel relaxed. You always feel that, that restlessness in your legs, something is happening in your stomach is crunching. You feel that tightness below your chest, in your diaphragm, constant muscle tension around your back, your neck, even throat, the chest feel tight. There's a disturbance in your sleep. You don't feel joyful. This happens with a lot of client of mine. They don't feel joyful even if they achieve something, even if they have everything in their life, everything is going perfectly, but they don't enjoy it because the system has become in such a way, that you cannot feel it because it has become hypersensitive. So there's a lack of recovery, and all these symptoms are getting very, very common, even in the high performers, even healthcare professionals, any corporate professionals, executive level corporates, all of them. So it doesn't matter, what is your job and what you're doing. It's more important to understand that you need to give yourself that operating system that it when it is resolving some problem, it can go to that survival mode or fight and flight mode. But as soon as you resolve the things, you need to come back to your resting state. Resting state doesn't mean sleeping or just taking or chilling. It means your mind, your brain should stop evaluating, assessing, and overlooking with the thoughts. And that's when you come back to this parasympathetic nervous system. So that's what I was telling. What we need to relearn is that survival mode is not inherently bad. It is an adaptive state, designed to help us handle the acute stress, whatever challenges are arising. Let just get it through, navigate it, resolve it, and then bring it back to come back to your recovery state and switch off from that mode of fighting it out, and then come back to your resting state as soon as you have resolved that problem. And shift out of survival mode when the threat has passed so that body can return to healing and recovering and thriving over the long term. So these are the things we need to relearn. And why connecting or keeping your nervous system is important, because your performance is very much depending on your nervous system. Your focus, your decision making, creativity, productivity, emotional resilience, and recovery, all of that is linked to nervous system. If your operating system, your nervous system is not in resting mode in most of the time, or you're not going back to your parasympathetic or your zen space more often, then you go into that exhaustion, and once you are in that survival mode for a very long time, the cognitive abilities get diminished, get start reducing. And that's why when you are mentally very exhausted, you cannot focus, your decision making abilities reduces, you are not so creative as you used to be before, your productivity get diminished, reduced, and so on and so forth. So what we need to understand is like how we do in our companies, right? What a company try to do, it wants the operating system, the operational department should work very smoothly so that the whole whole chain of the system works in a smooth manner. And the same thing implies for our body also. Your nervous system is your operating house. Once you know how to keep it in a calmer state, how to run it smoothly, you will go back, you will fight it out, you will find, because in life you will have threats, you will have stress. But the point is to come back, to solve it and come back to the normal state as soon as possible rather than just lingering around in that zone only. That is the main issue. So how we can break the loop, how we can come out of this survival mode? First of all, we need to recognize, or we need to be aware, accept that yes, this is happening. You have to recognize your thoughts, your emotion, and your body signals. What is happening with me? Yes, it is. It is the reality of my life right now. Once you accept it, then you go to next level where you start to finding out ways to regulate. Try to find out ways to get the tools and strategies to navigate this issues which is happening in your mind, body, and emotions. And once you have these tools, you can give yourself time and space to nourish yourself, to go into recovery more often, and with the whole system. Not just recovery, just doesn't mean just going to sleep or holidays or massages. That's not recovery. Recovery is when your mind, your body, and in your emotions, all these three components are getting better, you know. And once you go into that recovery, then you become more resilient, your performance become more sustainable. So first point is definitely is the awareness. You need to be aware what is happening in your body. So all the symptoms which I have given, like for example, we got one question from Muhammad, I think, right? What he should do, what should be done when there is a stress. So at least there is awareness that there is a stress, and once there is awareness, there is a question how to get out of it. Should I take medicine or should I do something else about it? So the first level is already clear that you have some stress, that you understand your body is not operating in a normal zone. You are into that stress mode for a longer time. And now, once you're aware, you're looking for the solution. And that's how it starts. So I think, yes, this is all about nervous system. Now, um, if you want to connect, you can always connect to me on LinkedIn or Instagram if you have any more. And now we will open for discussion. If you have any questions, we can go ahead. I hope whatever we have discussed so far is clear.
So, Apeksha, you can check with the people if they have any questions regarding if they want to ask something. Ah, okay. Everyone left. Hello, Apeksha.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, we are here. So we have quite a few questions here in the chat box. Uh, First is Dev Prasad. He wants to know how.
Well, we have to eliminate that. And then only you can, because that means your mind is never shutting off. So I would say before you sleep, do some meditation. Meditation doesn't mean you have to, you just have to chant or something, you know. You can put a music. There are so many music available in YouTube also. And just try to focus on that tone and then try to sleep so that we can shut down your overthinking processing which is happening in your mind. So and then probably that will help. But I would say find out what is the reason why you're going into overthinking loop. That is the most important thing we need to solve. I hope that's answered the question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Another, we have how to deal with anxiety. Jingle Shah wants to know about this.
How to deal with anxiety? Like if you have the physical symptom of anxiety, like you feel anxiousness or you feel shortness of breath, I would say at least 2 to 3 times in a day, take out some time, sit back, relax yourself, put your hand on your chest and take some deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And just focus on your breath. That helps to release the anxiousness instantly. And what is the underlying cause of your anxiety? That is also one of the factor we need to understand, you know. So for anything, if you ask me how we can solve it, we cannot solve it in one session or with one exercise or with one modality. We have to understand what is the root cause, and it's best to remove the root cause so that if you're feeling anxious, that means you are staying in the survival mode longer time. So every time you are going to that anxious mode, tell yourself that you are safe, take some breath, and that will definitely instantly reduce your anxiety. Um, any
Thank
more
you.
questions?
Thank you for answering this. One more interesting question we have, that is many professionals normalize the fatigue, poor sleep, and the body ache as a part of a busy career. At what point we should these symptoms to be considered as a warning signals for our body? So, what's your offer on that specific question?
As soon as you get aware that this exhaustion, this fatigue is not normal, if you are taking some time out for yourself, you are doing something about it, but it is not recovering, then it is an alarm. Because you already have that awareness, right? That you are fatigued, that you're not getting sleep, and something, if it is coming from your work side, then I would say you already have awareness. All you need is to just take a step ahead and go for some therapies or find out the tools which can help you out.
Okay, one more question that is related to the previous question only. So the techniques like the breathing techniques or the quick relaxation method can help to calm our body instantly or during that specific high stress.
Yes, it can.
And another one is Dhanuvat wants to know that how does the long-term stress affect our productivity and decision making in professional work?
Long-term fatigue.
Long-term stress affect
Yes.
actually a long-term stress affect our productivity?
Yes, it does. Because if you are into long-term stress, as we have seen the loop, right? When you are into that long-term stress, your body is constantly under stress response. When you are in the under stress response, first of all, there is a stress hormones which keep you in that alert zone. Secondly, your nervous system is so convinced that you are not in a safe zone. So you will not be resting at all. So other than fight and flight mode, there is another state called freezing. So what happens in the freezing zone? If you are constantly into stress and constantly into fight and flight mode, there will be a time when you will be like freezed. You go into complete exhaustion. We call it collapse. And in that state, your your body doesn't have energy to respond, and your brain get fogged. Your cognitive abilities get lower down, and that's why your productivity also reduces. I hope that answered the question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for answering this. So one more interesting question is coming, like for the student or the working people, what are the one simple thing we can do? Do we have any pinpoints to press specific points of your body parts to relax instantly?
Um, Not exactly the pinpoint, but as I told you, breathing is something which you can hold on to. Every one of us should do some deep breathing whenever possible, and do certain kind of exercises. You know, when you do exercise, spend time with yourself, like at least 20 minutes. When you just do some mobility exercise or flexibility exercises, that kind of relaxes your nervous system, and that can bring you back to your routine without getting so tired, fatigued. That is one of the way which you can do.
We actually, it's my personal question. Like normally people have anxiety and they'll start rubbing their hands, and so we don't have this kind of thing. So instantly we can relax our mind or body.
So you want an acupuncture point.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Uh, I would say go for breathing exercise, and you can use this area. This is something you can do for relaxation. Like you see here,
Yeah, I can.
yeah,
Okay.
you can just rub over here like this, okay,
Hmm.
and that kind of relaxes your whole system.
Okay.
And also
Thank
you
you
can
so
do
much.
tapping. So you can tap
Tapping?
here, then under your nose, in your chin, and even in your heart space.
Okay.
These are some tapping points. If you want some physical pressure points, these are the areas where you can tap on and help reduce the anxiety.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your insightful session and question and answer. Anyone have any other questions? Can raise your hands and we can unmute. I think, ma'am, that's it from our end
Okay.
and from our attendees. Koma, ma'am, you have anything? Niharika actually raised her hand. Ma'am, can I go with her question? Niharika, you can speak. Niharika, it's already unmuted.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are,
I
Niharika.
don't know how to overcome with overthinking.
You want to know how to overcome overthinking.
Yes.
Okay, so uh, why do you overthink?
Like I don't know, like for example, if I do a particular task and I feel like that I have not pleased the person with my task, so I keep on overthinking on every small thing.
So the problem here for you is not overthinking. Your problem here is pleasing other person.
Like, but how to overcome with that?
So you need proper therapy session for this.
Like I try
So
to distract myself, but still I keep on thinking about the same point.
so see, let's talk about a project or something which you have to submit to someone. You're talking in that context,
No, in
professional.
usual life, for example, if I For example, if I had a word with a particular person, with the mood I try to guess, maybe they are not pleased, they're angry with me. So my mind starts making situations of its own.
So Niharika, you know what? You have to learn to have a self-love and self-respect. Here, what I'm finding out with your question is that you doubt yourself. You are in doubt within yourself, and that's why your mind goes and make a scenario that maybe they are not liking me, and maybe I'm making them angry because I am not good enough. And that's why you go into that overthinking loop. So the problem is not the person. The problem here is your thought process about yourself, that um, you're not trusting yourself.
For example, if I had a word with my mom and I find that she's maybe angry for some reason, so I keep on thinking that maybe I've done something wrong. Like for example, this is just
Yeah, so you need there is this self-belief about yourself you have created. It can be because of the past experiences you had, that um, that you are not good enough, or you doubt yourself that I am not able to meet up their expectations. So we have to resolve this emotional belief system which you have for yourself. And what, because of that, you go into that zone that you find yourself as a threat, that I am the problematic person here, and I can create something which can make that person angry, which can make mom angry, you know. So you need to resolve something which is within yourself, within your belief system. Make sense?
okay. I have actually tried doing that. Like I've taken meditation sessions and all of those, but it didn't work out. Like
It will not
what
work
I have
because we have to work on your subconscious level, because this belief system is not in the superficial mind here, it is in your subconscious. So we have to remove it from there. So
example, sometimes, for example, a particular situation takes place. For a so and so person, it's a very chill situation. I take it like very like to my
personally,
heart and think of like to a
because
very longer extent.
yeah, because you're taking everything personally on yourself. So try to take some sessions, like you can do hypnosis, you can go for CBT, all of that, somatic, all this will help you out. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much.
As we come to the close for the today's webinar, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you for Ma'am Dr. Subhangi for sharing such a valuable knowledge with us today. Special also thanks to our moderator, Ms. Komal Jaju, as a team of A4 Integrated Training Institute for the organizing this meaningful session for us. Most importantly, thank you to all our participation for your time, presence, and engagement. I hope you guys at today's session help you better to understand and connection between the burnout, stress, and the nervous system. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.